And Newcastle United in their familiar black and white striped shirts will attack the Gallowgate end in this first half, with Molly Pike over the ball and the game underway. And this is Aoife Mannion going long for Newcastle. Charlotte Wardlow, who played in this fixture last season in front of that 38,500 crowd, will take the throw in. And gets the ball back again from Hales. And now Sunderland with their first opportunity as the ball deflected off Deanna Cooper and all the way back to Taminen. Here's Jordan Nobbs. And Aoife Mannion. Nobbs again. And a foul given with Una Sevenius going to ground. So a chance for Newcastle United to put some pressure on the Sunderland defence with an early set play, which Jordan Nobbs clips into the Sunderland penalty area. It'll come as far as Molly Pike. Played forward by Wardlow. Sunderland going with two up top today as Cooper shows some fine composure. Deanna Cooper will go down in Newcastle United history as the first women's player to score at St James's Park when she got that late equalising goal in the fixture against Southampton last season. Here's Mannion for Newcastle United, and the ball up towards Sevenius. And the challenge coming in, the ball out of play for a throw, which is taken by Wardlow. Mannion infield to Cooper as the ball is switched out wide. Demi Stokes with the throw in. Here's Jordan Nobbs linking up with Pike. And then the foul committed as Alan Adele gets back to her feet for Sunderland. Charlotte Wardlow, the guilty party, as Grace Maloney comes outside a box to go long with the set play. The flick on from Ellen Dale finds its way all the way through to Anna Taminen, who'll probably be happy to see a little bit of the ball in the opening stages as she settles into life in WSL 2 in front of this bumper crowd here at St James's Park. And in the early stages of the game, there's an opportunity here maybe for Sevenius, and Grace Maloney had to come right to the border of her 18-yard line to avert any potential danger. Here's Aoife Mannion for Newcastle United. Mannion again for the home team. Cooper. So Mannion with Sunderland eager to keep their shape when out of possession. And Savinius went to ground, but more a case of losing a balance rather than being impeded. Louise Griffiths will take the Sunderland throw. Well, Grace Maloney, the Sunderland goalkeeper, alive and alert and effecting quality clearance. Charlotte Wardlow with the throw-in for Newcastle United. It was aimed for Shani Hales, so Wardlow's got a few more yards down the right. Effective field aimed towards Nobbs by Savinius. And Scar losing possession for Sunderland as Cooper gets the ball out wide, and now Demi Stokes with an opportunity to get the ball wide, and the corner is forced. Beth Lumsden's first contribution to the game is to win aside a corner, which will be delivered by Jordan Nobbs, who's been an integral figure for Newcastle United throughout the season with vast experience from a previous clubs, Arsenal and Aston Villa. The corner is flicked on, and a shooting chance here, and Savinius just unable to wrap her foot around the ball, or rather Molly Pike unable to wrap her foot around the ball as she kills the ball in towards the near post area. But the ball had gone behind. It's Sunderland now to build from the back. Here is Lumsden. And the cross takes a deflection for another corner. So more moments of concentration for the Sunderland defence in the opening stages of the game. Cooper and Mannion are just remaining their positions between the 6 and 18 yard lines, with a chance maybe to have a run at the ball, and both the Sunderland defenders peel in towards the far post area. It's punched by Maloney, hit in first time by Lumsden from outside the area. But Sunderland had sufficient players back to act as cover as the ball took a ricochet outside the box. Demi Stokes has stayed wide, and a ball into the box, and a shooting chance here, and a shot takes a deflection and goes wide. And the corner from Jordan Nobbs, punched by Maloney, and the effort coming in from Beth Lumsden. Seven games without a win for Sunderland in all competitions, both of their victories coming in the opening month of the season, with successes against Sheffield United and against Durham. Here's Alicia Body for Newcastle United. And out wide to Lumsden. Challenge coming in on Sunderland's Katie Kitching. Mary Corbin will deliver the throw-in for the away team. Came off Wardlow's head. And the attempt coming in from distance by Emily Scarr takes a deflection and goes behind for Sunderland's first corner of the game. Emily Scarr, certainly a player in form, with 5 goals already this season for the Wearsiders, 2 in the game last weekend against Portsmouth. As Katie Kitching prepares to deliver the away team's first corner of the afternoon, as we still await the first real chance and opportunity in the game. 4 inside the 6-yard area, punched away by Taminen. As the ball is fed out wide to Kitching again, the referee Phoebe Cross has spotted some sort of infringement inside that goalmouth melee. Taminen, the Finnish goalkeeper, gets the ball up wide to Cooper, and Mannion is forced to move towards the ball as she's closed down. Jordan Nobbs went to ground and appealed for a free kick, but Phoebe Cross, the official, is unmoved. Allows Beth Lumsden to bring the ball forward for Newcastle United. And now Sunderland with a chance to piece their first attack together, and good defending by Aoife Mannion, who sensed the potential danger there, and with a good piece of defending eliminated any potential danger. Shania Hales winning the side throw-in, which will be taken by Demi Stokes. Hales to Stokes. Lumsden. Challenge came in from Corbin. Anna Greenwood knows all about northeastern football, having had the distinction of having played for both clubs. Coming in from Wardlow, but Sunderland again pick up the pieces. Here's Emily Scarr for the Wearsiders. There's nobody in the centre, but Scarr's run led to Wardlow's challenge and another corner for the visitors. Very, very good with the ball at her feet, Emily Scarr. And Charlotte Wardlow sliding in to halt the run. So the New Zealand international Katie Kitching will deliver the corner for the visiting team. It's a deep one this time. And Aoife Mannion took command in the air there. Vastly experienced defender, having had experience with Manchester City and Manchester United. Eleanor Dale with the long throw for Sunderland. Headed out of the box by Cooper. And a goal kick is ultimately awarded. So the first quarter of the game has been played here at St James's Park, and we're waiting for the game to really ignite. Mannion in towards Cooper, and the two Sunderland defenders combined once again with the ball hit long. It's not going to reach Savenius. Mannion knew what she was doing there to block the route of Eleanor Dale in order to win Newcastle the throw, which Wardlow is about to take. Wardlow again with the Newcastle United throw. Savenius back to Wardlow. Jordan Nobbs with a neat little layoff, and then Wardlow playing the ball through the gap to Cooper. Cooper's got Lumsden up wide, and she's got Stokes inside in support, but good defending as the ball is cleared away by Corbin for Sunderland. Jordan Nobbs, who's been given a roving commission in midfield, comes across to meet the initial throw from Demi Stokes. It's out for another one. Nobbs is short again, and so too is Molly Pike, and the ball has gone to Pike. And then a sturdy challenge coming in from Kira Barry to make sure that Newcastle don't make any further progress. Last touch coming off Newcastle's Beth Lumsden for a Sunderland throw. Stokes to Hales, and Lumsden trying to see if she can find a gap. And Holly Pike was guilty of a foul on Jamie Finn. Maloney hasn't really had much to do in the opening 90 minutes, apart from a really effective clearance from the edge of her own penalty area. Lumsden wins Newcastle United a throw-in. A lot of the play being over on the Newcastle left in the last couple of minutes or so, with a constant succession of throw-ins for Demi Stokes to take. Again, Jordan Nobbs predictably offering herself short. Pike playing it back to Stokes. And now maybe a chance for Sunderland to move forward with a really strong run from Kira Barry, which is halted. And now here's Una Savenius for Newcastle United. The forward run has been made by Jordan Nobbs. She's forced to go back into her own half, but the move continues with Savenius coming forward. Griffiths looking to close her down. Demi Stokes can shoot from this sort of range. Out wide towards Lumsden. And deflected off Corbin for a corner. Demi Stokes has been given plenty of license to get forward. Lumsden looked to get the ball in, but good defending from Mary Corbin. Jordan Nobbs with 71 England caps and one of Newcastle United's most creative outlets throughout WSL 2 this season. And 5 players in and around the 6-yard area. It's a short one though to Stokes. Nobbs in a better crossing position. But again, Mary Corbin is in the way from a Sunderland perspective. Stokes lofting the ball in. Did it take a deflection? No, says Phoebe Cross, the match official. And Sunderland have a goal kick. Still a terrific atmosphere inside St James's Park. Another wonderful crowd to support this WSL 2 fixture. Given away. And Nobbs unable to do anything with it. Here's Griffiths for Sunderland. Back with Savenius. Unable to take the reverse pass. Louise Griffiths. Local northeastern girl, so she'll appreciate the magnitude of this fixture this afternoon. With another very healthy St James's Park crowd and a brilliant away following that have come up from Wearside. Deanna Cooper trying to maximise possession. It's turned back by body to Mannion. And Stokes all the way back to Taminen. Mannion to Nobbs. His body, whose space has closed down. Some tenacious work there from Eleanor Dale for Sunderland. And an infield by Savenius. Scar is shrugged off the ball. Nobbs in towards body. Here's Wardlow. Savenius back to Wardlow. And play opens up, and here comes Deanna Cooper. And looked to thread the ball in towards Holly Pike's run, but was just unable to do so. Here's Corbin for Sunderland. Closed down by Lumsden. And a chance for Sunderland to bring play inside the Newcastle half of the field with the 2 central strikers, Dale and Kitching, forward. But unable to get any service initially. Free kick given though against Demi Stokes. So another set play situation for Sunderland to try and maximise, with Katie Kitching their most effective dead ball player and specialist. So 7 players across the edge of the penalty area as Kitchen prepares to deliver. And they get first contact on the ball. And just a little bit too tight, the angle for the attempt on goal. Hannah Greenwood was trying to get on the end of the Eleanor Dale flick, but couldn't quite do so, running out of space. And it stays 0-0 with coming up to 26 minutes of the first half gone. Here's Emily Scarr for Sunderland as the movement forward continues until a challenge comes in from Aoife Mannion. Played forward first time by Demi Stokes, who takes the reverse pass, and Molly Pike is hemmed into that far touchline, concedes the throw, which Mary Corbin will take up towards Fenton. Scarr turning the ball forward for Sunderland. And then the ball running loose. His body going to ground. Play answers the referee as Savenius converges over halfway for Newcastle. Through the gap to Hales. Sturdy work though from Fenton for Sunderland, and then a straight pass from her, and Lumsden picks up the pieces for Newcastle United until Katie Kitchen goes in with a sliding challenge for Sunderland. Certainly hugely competitive out there on the field of play, with both sides fully committed as you would expect in a fixture of this magnitude, the Tyne-Wear derby, with a scoreline of Newcastle United 0, Sunderland 0 still. And Natasha Fenton showing her full commitment to the Sunderland cause as Demi Stokes prepares to take the throw in for Newcastle. Aoife Mannion with the situation under full control from a Newcastle United perspective. And Mannion again, someone who's more than capable of bringing play out from the back and being the base for moves. So too is Deanna Cooper. And now Savenius, whose progress is halted instantaneously by Emily Scarr. Well, 2 attempts on goal from each side, neither on target. Possession-wise, Newcastle United have had the bulk of it. A couple of key passes for both sides, but neither really have made any significant impact in their attacking thirds. As we are a minute away from the half-hour mark. Both sides in the tackle count showing full commitment, and in blocks and clearances. But a little bit of extra quality is needed in the final third. Maybe Wardlaw can provide something with a cross that is easily taken out of the air by Grace Maloney, who's been alive and alert for Sunderland, but really her goalkeeping contribution so far has been of the routine variety, and you probably would say the same of her opposite number, Anna Taminen. Hannah Greenwood, formerly of Newcastle United. And here's Emily Scarr, scorer of 5 goals for Sunderland this season. Header from Molly Pike was picked up by Emily Scarr. And now here's Katie Kitching for Sunderland. And Kitchen's ball is in towards the far post area, but a very good claim from Anna Timonen, who will certainly be relishing her experience as a Newcastle United player. Real strong competition for the goalkeeper's jersey at Newcastle United, with Femke Liefting having played in the majority of games, and Claudia Moan on the bench for Newcastle was predominantly first choice last season, as Jordan Nobbs goes to ground and wins the side a free kick. And for trouble, Natasha Fenton finds herself in the referee's notebook as the first player cautioned in the game. Beth Lumsden is standing over the ball, and Sunderland have got practically everybody back in defence. What can Lumsden conjure up from this set play situation? Still goalless as a free kick goes into the Sunderland penalty area. Cleared though as far as Lumsden again, who's aiming to take the ball wide, and there are four to look for in the middle, and it might find its way towards Johnny Hales. It didn't quite. Shooting chance coming in with the effort from just outside the penalty area, going over the bar. Well, Lumsden showed the initiative and got herself into a very good position for a delivery. It almost broke the way of Shania Hales, and then when it came out to the edge of the penalty area, Molly Pike's shot was wayward. Alicia Body for Newcastle United. Twisting and turning both ways. Mannion. Stokes. Just unable to keep the ball in play. Mary Corbin with the Sunderland throw. Stokes gets ahead to it. Corbin again. Looped down the wing by Dale. Mannion with a no-nonsense clearance that clears halfway. Hannah Greenwood was there ahead of Shania Hales. Here's Aoife Mannion for Newcastle United. Cooper. Wardlaw linking up with Mannion again, and the ball back with Taminen. Here's Deanna Cooper. Mannion flicked on by Hales. Can Savenius get in behind the Sunderland defence? Change came in by Griffiths to thwart any further Newcastle progress, and then proposed interchange doesn't quite come off between Nobbs and Wardlow. And Louise Griffiths can get the game back in motion with a throw. Mannion to Cooper, Body. Mannion to the Sunderland defensive colleague Cooper again. Lumsden has got Pike making a run ahead of her. But plenty in red and white back behind the ball. Nobbs trying to get things moving in the midfield area for Newcastle United. Mannion with a ball into the path of Pike, whose initiative and willingness to run onto the ball has ultimately resulted in a corner. Mannion's got the capability of picking up passes like that. And Greenwood was the covering defender for Sunderland, who thought any further progress for Molly Pike. Beth Lumsden then with the Newcastle United corner. And again, a really congested 6-yard area as the ball is bent in outside the 6-yard box. And the chance for Newcastle United goes begging. Sunderland come forward on the counter-attack. With some alert defending from Charlotte Wardlow prevents Sunderland from manufacturing anything on the counter-attack. Katie Kitching it was who led the attack, and the opportunity didn't really manifest itself. Played forward by Griffiths out wide towards Scar. Griffiths back in towards Scar, cleared away by Wardlow. Savenius getting the ball up wide to Nobbs. Shania Hales is the furthest player forward, a scorer of the winning goal in last season's encounter here. Again, another fantastic bumper crowd today, but so far they haven't really been treated to too much in the way of goal scoring opportunities. Louise Griffiths with the Sunderland throw. Yeah, not too many empty seats in the lower tiers of the famous stadium. So Griffiths with the Sunderland throw, and Scar and Wardlow contest the possession. Did that go off Wardlow? No. Goal kick given to Newcastle United. Here's Mannion. Will she go for a longer ball? She will do. Up towards Hales with a back to goal. It'll break the way of Jordan Nobbs with a ball into the area first time, and some good defending from Hannah Greenwood for Sunderland, but ball given away. And Savenius had spotted Lumsden in support. Clipped forward by Body. Lumsden still alive in the final third for Newcastle United, but not shown any room there by Mary Corbin, the Sunderland defender. Demi Stokes will take the throw in. And Stokes in a good crossing position, and a clever little ball in. She's spotted the run of Jordan Nobbs. It's back with Mannion for Newcastle. Nobbs again to get the ball up wide to Savenius. Wardlow infield towards Cooper. Mannion. Here's Nobbs. Wardlow. Space in the centre circle as Cooper gets it up wide towards Lumsden, with Stokes making a run ahead of her. But given away though to Kitching, who wins Sunderland a throw in. Mary Corbin with the Sunderland throw. Lumsden for Newcastle United, with 3 to look for to her right. And one of them is Savenius. If you can keep the ball alive, she can. She's got Louise Griffiths for company. And then Jordan Nobbs with a heavy touch, and Emily Scarr is deep inside her own half. And takes a safety first option by putting the ball behind for a throw-in. Which Wardlow will take, the Scotland under-23 international. She's been away recently on international duty for her country. Now maybe the chance for Sunderland to break forward, as the pass was aimed towards Dale from Kitching. Lumsden up towards Hales with a touch forward, but the ball turned back to keeper Maloney. Here comes Sunderland. There are 2 up in the middle. Good defensive work, though, with Wardlow being bright and alert, and Savenius going to ground under the challenge from Louise Griffiths. Two goals already this season for Una Savenius. One or two Finnish players in the Newcastle United team, and Beth Lumsden has come across from the left to deliver a free kick with 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining at the end of the first half in this WSL2 Tyne-Wear derby, with the scoreline still Newcastle 0, Sunderland 0. Whipped in by Lumsden. Cooper was there but couldn't really get a touch of the ball. Nobbs turning it back into the danger area. And the match official Phoebe Cross spotting an infringement on the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Rhiannon Roberts is the player who might need attention, as the free kick came in. Clipped back in by Nobbs, and then I think off the ball the Welsh international defender was impeded. So hit long by Grace Maloney. As we move into the final minute of the half here at St James's Park, with Demi Stokes taking the throw in. There'll be a further minute to be played at the end of the half, as Eleanor Dale was trying to make inroads for Sunderland. Bonnie's ball is intercepted, and then went back for Newcastle United, as Mannion shows composure on the ball and then gives it away. Here's Emily Scarr for Sunderland. Cooper showing some commanding defensive play. Nobbs' ball, I think, was aimed towards Savenius. Hales backtracking to try and win it back for Newcastle. As Emily Scarr goes down the left and continues her duel with Charlotte Wardlow. That's been one of the intriguing features of the opening 45 minutes, which has another 60 seconds still to run. Louise Griffiths is the player with the Sunderland throw-in. Gets the ball back again from Emily Scarr, and Griffiths sends over a cross which is punched by keeper Taminen. And cleared from harm's way with Charnia Hales chasing the ball, which is turned all the way back to Maloney. Here's Hannah Greenwood for Sunderland. And play halted. Louise Griffiths got the ball back again from Emily Scarr, and the cross warranted a two-handed punch from Anna Taminen. Molly Pike is the player who is requiring the attention in stoppage time. Former Southampton player who's scored back-to-back goals. Got a first strike of the campaign against Ipswich Town a couple of weeks ago, and then followed that up with a goal against Durham last weekend and another North East derby. But in this big Tyne Weir encounter, it looks as though the players are going to go into the half-time break with the scoreline at 0-0. And Pike will be forced to follow the protocol and criteria of leaving the field of play before coming back on again. So Phoebe Cross gets the game back underway. This is Rhiannon Roberts for Sunderland. And her ball forward is the last act of the opening 45 minutes that sees these two great rivals locked at 0-0. In a half, really, where neither goalkeeper has been extended to any extent. Both goalkeepers have been alive and alert, but have only really been forced to have duties of routine effect. Neither side has really fashioned anything clear-cut in their attacking thirds. And as they leave the field for the half-time break, the scoreline from St James's Park in this WSL 2 Tyne Weir derby is Newcastle United 0, Sunderland 0. So it's Sunderland's turn to attack the Gallagate end in this second half as referee Phoebe Cross gets the second period underway. Kelly immediately getting into the action for Newcastle, but Kitchen is able to get the ball into the middle, and it's the first real opportunity that we've had in the game. The ball was delivered from the right by Katie Kitching, and the opportunity not taken. Lucia Body is the player who has made way for the Newcastle substitute Emma Kelly at the halfway stage.
Half-time substitution for Newcastle saw number 6, Lucia Body, replaced by number 8, Emma Kelly.
Long by Hannah Greenwood. Sunderland are getting an opportunity to keep the possession in the early stages of the second period. It was Newcastle United who had far more of the ball in the opening period. The ball came off Beth Lumsden last for a Sunderland throw-in to be taken by Mary Corbin. Lumsden again, tight to the left touchline and caught there by Corbin, and that might just warrant a yellow card. Just showing that little burst of pace, and the challenge was certainly late from Mary Corbin. So she joins Natasha Fenton in the referee's notebook, and Jordan Nobbs stands over the ball. Well, just a little bit further south of these two great footballing cities, in Stockton, close to Middlesbrough. 71 England caps to a name. And Sunderland have got practically everybody back as the free kick comes into the middle. And the danger not cleared, and it allowed the shot to come in. But too high from Beth Lumsden. Well, it was a teasing delivery from Jordan Nobbs. And the ball only partially cleared. Sunderland twice having the opportunity to get the ball away. And Lumsden was stationed just outside the box, but unable to keep a shot down. Here's Pike for Newcastle, allowing the ball to run behind for a throw-in. It should be taken by Wardlow. Scar battling for the ball for Sunderland. So just confirming the official attendance in this WSL 2 fixture of 18,972. Another great effort from the northeastern footballing public, showing just how much the game means in this particular part of the world, the real football hotbed. Nobbs getting a block in there as Corbin tries to make further progress for Sunderland down the right. Corbin with a throw. And Lumsden in that duel for the ball there. Was it handball there? Yes, it was. It struck the arm of Aoife Mannion, and Sunderland had the chance to go ahead from the penalty spot. So what a big moment now in the Tyne-Wear derby. Well, it was Corbin who took the initial throw, and as the ball came into the box from Katie Kitching, an awkward bounce, it struck the arm of Aoife Mannion, And Sunderland have the chance to go ahead from the penalty spot. Katie Kitching has scored 3 times already this season. And what a big moment in the Tyne-Wear derby up to the Gallagate end. Kitching facing Taminen. Referee making sure there's no encroachment. As Kitching steps up and Taminen makes a save. The Finnish goalkeeper dropping to her right and keeping the ball out and keeping the score at 0-0. Back comes Sunderland though, until McKelly goes to ground. So what a moment for Anna Taminen, given the opportunity with the absence of Femke Liefting and saving a penalty at the Gallagate end from Katie Kitching to keep the scoreline at 0-0. What a moment though from a Sunderland point of view. There was a delay before Kitching stepped up. She stuck the ball to the keeper's right, and she guessed correctly. It was actually Eleanor Dale who took the spot kick, rather, I beg your pardon. Eleanor Dale taking the spot kick for Sunderland. And what a save it was from the Newcastle keeper, Taminen. Here's Emma Kelly for Newcastle. Nobbs will play the ball short to Lumsden. Nobbs again. Here's a spot kick from Eleanor Dale. And a real top quality save from Emma Taminen. Sunderland free kick, which Roberts is standing over. Taminen claims on the edge of a 6-yard box. And played wide to Debbie Stokes, towards Nobbs, back to Cooper. Mannion, who'll be mightily relieved having conceded that penalty. Strong run being made here by Kitching. The ball inside, cleared away by Cooper. Corbin dueling for the ball with Lumsden. Kitchen again showing her pace. And getting the ball into the middle a few moments ago. And real top quality defending.
Substitution for Newcastle coming off at 10, Molly Pike.
Molly Pike's afternoon is over with Emily Murphy coming into the action. There's an opportunity here. And straight away, Murphy's called into the action to make sure Eleanor Dale doesn't get any opportunity to shoot. Mannion is the recipient of a yellow card for a late challenge. So a chance for Sunderland to maximise the set play situation. Kitching presiding over the ball. And there are 7 teammates in and around the 6-yard area for her to aim for. And a player free on the edge of the penalty area who's totally undetected if the ball was to go there. So an awkward dipping one that comes off the crossbar. Kitchen getting real pace and dip on that free kick that came back off the crossbar. Thrown again for Newcastle United to be taken by Charlotte Wardlow. Cooper out wide to Stokes. Forward long by Fenton. Cooper though will get the ball back to the keeper. Easy for Mannion. Jordan Nobbs. Shot to Cooper and out wide to Stokes. Cooper again through the gap. Jordan Nobbs to move Newcastle forward in the right direction. Lumsden out wide, faced by Corbin. Stokes inside to Lumsden again. Hales in the middle. Lumsden's not able to effect a cross because Corbin again diligent in defensive duties. So Jordan Nobbs with the corner for Newcastle United, with the game remaining goalless. It's a difficult one for Maloney, the keeper, unbundled into the far post. Charlotte Wardlow with the opening goal for Newcastle United. Or is it Deanna Cooper who's got it? Well, the corner into a dangerous area, and it was Deanna Cooper who got the final touch for Newcastle United. She scored here the first ever goal for Newcastle United women against Southampton last season, and she's opened the scoring in the Tyne-Wear derby. Another big moment in the career of Deanna Cooper, who's made it Newcastle United 1, Sunderland 0.
That's goal number 2 for Newcastle this afternoon. The scorer, number 12, Deanna Cooper.
And here come Newcastle United looking for a second goal. Challenge coming in only momentarily on Newcastle. Holton is a chance for a second. Maloney with a great block. As the ball is fed wide for Kitching, as Sunderland look for an instant response. Good defending though from Stokes. Opened up for Emily Murphy, and good goalkeeping by Grace Maloney. Well, this second half has certainly lit up. The first half maybe not living up to expectation, with neither side really creating anything. Then that penalty given away by Aoife Mannion that was missed by Eleanor Dale, with Anna Tamanen making the important save, and then that goal from Deanna Cooper a couple of minutes ago as the Jordan Nobbs corner found its way to the far post area. Well, certainly Emily Murphy's been lively since coming onto the field of play. Savinius went off the ball then and was looking for a free kick, but nothing was doing. Emily Murphy then for the Newcastle corner. They scored from the opposite side a couple of moments ago. Can they maximise again from a second set play situation? It's awkward for Maloney once again, and it's bobbling around. Emily Murphy makes it 2-0. She's only been on the field for a matter of minutes, but she's certainly made a big impact since coming on. That's the third goal of the campaign. She reacted instantaneously. Maloney in real trouble there, and as the ball dropped inside the 6-yard box, a first touch to steady herself, and then an emphatic second touch from Murphy to double Newcastle United's advantage. Really difficult for Maloney, the keeper, and then Sunderland tried to clear and failed. Murphy said thank you very much indeed. Newcastle haven't won at home this season. The previous games have been played in Gateshead, of course, as Katie Kitching prepares to deliver the corner. And it needs Mannion's intervention off the line, headed in! Sunderland have half the deficit. It looks as though Kitching got the final touch in the goalmouth melee. There are players who need treatment. Or was it Kira Berry who got the final touch? I think it was Berry who got the final touch in there. And then you got the initial clearance off the line, and I think it's Kira Berry who got the final touch. Trying to make the numbers out on these Sunderland shirts is absolutely impossible at times, especially in tight areas like this. But it's number 10, I do beg your pardon, the player Katie Kitching getting the final touch. Came into the middle. It is actually number 19. It's Kira Berry who has got the goal. There's not only confusion, the commentary box, the press box everywhere. WSL 2 take note. The Newcastle numbers are absolutely clear for everybody to see. Not so Sunderland. I think it's Kira Berry who got the final touch. Yeah, no, it's a goal that's been scored by Barry. Confusion as to whether it was 10 or 19, but Barry's got it. Kelly's afternoon hasn't lasted too long. That's a good point. I think he's coming on for Newcastle United.
That was a goal for Sunderland, and it should be confirmed the score as number 14. Sorry, number 10.
So 20 minutes left for play in what's been an eventful second half. Missed penalty, two quick-fire back-to-back Newcastle United goals within 3 minutes of each other, and then a goal from Kira Berry to half the deficit. So this second half of the time where Derby has definitely lived up to its billing and its expectation. So what do Newcastle United do in this position? Do they look to add to that 2-1 advantage, or maybe see the game out and preserve what they've got? I think it looks as though it's going to be more attacking. Here's Emily Murphy scorer of the second goal. Stokes to try and rekindle a possession for Newcastle United. Here's Jordan Nobbs. Out wide to Lumsden. A little flick ball into the area. Cleared away by Roberts. Now a chance for Sunderland to come forward in search of an equaliser. As Katie Kitching goes to ground. Foul by Demi Stokes. Katie Kitching standing over the ball. Seven Sunderland players up for this set play situation. Coming in on goal and taking a deflection into the far post area. Stokes, the player at last, came off. And they're going to go back from a Katie Kitching corner. We spotted something in there. Daniel Scott is just getting a word said to her. A bit of pushing going on there with Lumsden in there as well. Mannion in the thick of it too. There he comes, and a scramble. And Tamarin taking full command of a 6-yard box there. It was Roberts who had that stab on goal, but Anna Tamarin, who made that penalty save from Eleanor Dale earlier in the half, was able to collect the ball. Change to Sunderland then, with Ellen Jones coming on. So Ellen Jones and Marissa Shiva. The players who come into the action. Mannion with the ball aimed out wide. It's too high though for Una Savenya. Here's Beth Lumsden. Gets a handball against Corbyn. Here's Emily Scarr looking to make an impression for Sunderland, and a teasing ball into the far post area that forces Taminen to pluck the ball out of the air, but it gets Newcastle onto the front foot very quickly indeed. Murphy out wide to Savenius. Savenius cutting inside. Here's Murphy again. Murphy letting fly and finding the back of the net. What an impact she's made as a second half substitute. 2 second half goals and doubling her tally for the season, all in one. Four goals now for her in the 25-26 campaign, and crucially restoring a 2-goal winning advantage. It might have taken a deflection en route, but there was power on the shot. It was too good for Grace Murphy, and it's now Newcastle United 3, Sunderland 1. Well, if the first half was a slow burner without any real thrills and spills, the second half has been anything but, with action, incident, excitement and goals. The penalty miss from Eleanor Dale, the opening goal from Deanna Cooper, 2 now for Emily Murphy off the bench, with the Sunderland riposte coming from Kira Barry. Newcastle United heading for a first home victory this season. It might get even better here as the ball is played wide from Lumsden to Savenius, and the momentum of the move then breaking down. Sunderland have got players forward here. Here's Emily Scarr going solo and bending one. And Anna Taminen was not prepared to take any risks there, pushing the ball behind for a corner. Left-footed effort coming in. Maybe it was going wide, but no risk strategy is the most sensible policy for the Newcastle United goalkeeper. Fenton's corner headed out by Cooper and blocked on the 6-yard line, but the referee spotted an infringement. It was Stokes who made the block, and Wardlaw, I think it was, who's gone down and taken a knock. Headed forward by Stokes. Roberts up wide. Wardlaw wins a tackle. So 8 minutes for Newcastle United to see this game out for their first home win of the campaign. But certainly Sunderland are not finished. Here's Corbyn. Won't get the better of Lumsden though, who's impeded. It's been a really intriguing battle as that down the Newcastle left full-back area. Corbyn trying to push forward from right back for Sunderland, and Lumsden, who's been really effective in an attacking area for Newcastle United, showing a defensive capabilities as well, which are very, very useful. So Evie Rabjon is coming on for Sunderland, as is Katie Watson. Watson can certainly give a little bit of width for Sunderland in the closing stages, but it looks as though this Tyne-Wear derby is going the way of Newcastle United. Stokes, as far as Roberts, aimed for Corbyn, but out wide for a throw for Newcastle. Murphy, of course, is on a hat-trick. If she can get into a position now to meet the cross that is blocked. It's defensive work there by Rabjon, her first contribution to the game, to block out Beth Lumsden. Well, goals have come from corners this afternoon at both ends of the field. Is there to be another in the final 5 minutes or so of normal time? Again, it's a difficult tester for keeper Maloney, but she's equal to it. Here's Emily Scarr, who's switched out to the left. Wardlow to put the ball behind. Sunderland have actually had more shots than Newcastle, but even though both sides have had 3 on target, the important stats are that 3 of those on target for Newcastle went in, and only 1 from a Sunderland perspective. And this is to be another goal. Maybe Beth Lumsden can put further icing on the cake. No, she can't. The attack and the momentum remains with Newcastle as Nobbs plays the ball down the left. The official awards the free kick the way of Newcastle United. Deanna Cooper, who's over the ball, has a distinction of having scored in 2 separate games here at St James's Park. Emily Murphy, who came off the bench, has also scored twice at St James's Park in the same game. Here's Savenius as Newcastle pursue a 4th goal. Hales back to Savenius, or just a little bit too long. The faithful appreciate the intentions from a Newcastle point of view. That was reverse ball, just a little bit too much weight on it. Murphy was up in supporting that attack as well. Freya Gregory, his Scotland international, is about to emerge onto the field of play. And certainly Claire Ditchburn will be very satisfied, I'm sure, with the way things have gone since taking over from Becky Langley on an interim basis in the first WSL2 game in charge. Newcastle won 4-1 at Ipswich, a 1-1 draw at Durham in another local derby last weekend, and then it would appear, unless Sunderland have got something extremely dramatic left up their sleeves, that it's going to be a first home win of the campaign. The previous 4 home games in all competitions have taken place just down the road at Gateshead. But Newcastle United's ladies have never been beaten, it would appear, in a game at St James's Park. The first game against Southampton last season was a 1-1 draw, and then the corresponding Timeware derby last season, a single goal win for Newcastle. And as we enter the final minute of normal time here in this afternoon's game, it's 3-1 to Newcastle United, but we understand there's going to be a further 6 minutes for Sunderland to try and do something about those arrears. And maybe Newcastle can add to the scoreline. Lumsden's been involved a lot this afternoon, and a little cut back into the middle. Maybe a chance for Sunderland to mount another attack. Just confirmation there of the 6 minutes to be added at the end of the 90.
Indicated a minimum of 6 minutes stoppage time to be added. 6 minutes.
Most of the crowd remaining in their seats. They've had a good afternoon, especially watching the second half. Those of black and white persuasion. Maybe a little less so for the healthy away support that has come from Wearside. But there's still time, maybe, for Sunderland to make the final 5 minutes of stoppage time very interesting, as Emily Scarr delivers the corner. And some good defending from Freya Gregory to get in the way. Newcastle United will no doubt bask in the glory of this Tyne Weir success. From a Sunderland perspective, the run without a win will continue. Maybe 8 games without a win. September seems a long time ago when those 2 victories in WSL2 came from Melanie Ray's side against Sheffield United and Durham very early on. Hit long by Demi Stokes. Johnny Hales is the furthest player forward for Newcastle as Roberts gets the ball back to Maloney. Behind by Cooper for a Sunderland throw. Here's Roberts. Along by Greenwood. Stokes is the first of the ball for Newcastle, and again cleared into touch. Header goes wide. Katie Watson, rather Jimmy Finn getting the header in towards goal. Sunderland, they are refusing to lie down as the shot is kept in, is it? From going behind for a corner. The shot from Shiva. It took a deflection, and the left arm of Anna Tamanen prevented that ball from going behind for the corner. Certainly Tamanen will feel very happy with her contribution to the Newcastle United cause this afternoon, with that penalty save from Eleanor Dale when the game really ignited. Lumsden taking an inward route. No foul, says the referee Phoebe Cross. Change came in from McQuaid. Lumsden's dribbling skills have been prevalent this afternoon as she tried to cut inside, but predictably, whenever she's had the ball, there's been usually two opponents to try and nullify a threat. Some medical staff are happy that Lumsden's okay. She's definitely played a part in this first Newcastle United home win of the campaign, a third in total in the WSL 2 competition, with the previous two coming away from home at Nottingham Forest and Ipswich. But any second now, the referee will bring the contest to a close. Charlotte Wardlow with the throw-in for Newcastle United. Roberts winning the header. It's turned wide to Demi Stokes, who probably head for the corner flag area, or using a vast experience to just keep play a long way up in the Sunderland half of the field. We've played 7 minutes of stoppage time, but no more, because Newcastle United have won the Tyne-Wear derby by 3 goals to 1, and what really was a fabulous second half. Maybe the first 45 minutes were forgettable, maybe perhaps a little bit too much caution, but the game ignited 7 minutes after the break. A handball by Aoife Mannion was spotted by referee Phoebe Cross. Eleanor Dale shouldered the responsibility of the spot kick for Sunderland, but keeper Anna Taminen guessed correctly, making a fine save, dropping to her right. It laid the foundation for Newcastle to edge ahead in the game from a Jordan Nobbs corner from the left that ended up in the far post area. Deanna Cooper opened the scoring again at St James's Park. She's the first ever Newcastle United ladies player to score at St James's Park against Southampton last season. Well, she opened the scoring again today, a tally that was doubled by Emily Murphy. Sunderland, from a set play routine, were able to halve the deficit through Ciara Barry. The victory assured with Emily Murphy's second goal of the afternoon, coming off the bench and making a big impression to ultimately make it a final scoreline from St James's Park in front of another hugely enthusiastic and bumper northeastern crowd of 18,972. And it's ended Newcastle United 3, Sunderland 1. Well, the key stats flicking through. The important one is the scoreline at the top. A 3-1 victory for Newcastle United in a hugely competitive 90 minutes, especially so in the second period. Well, elsewhere in WSL 2, on the south coast, Southampton and Durham shared a 1-1 draw. Another drawn game at Bramall Lane as Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest were goalless. The latest scoreline involving Birmingham City and Portsmouth sees Birmingham lead by 5 goals to 2. Charlton have beaten Bristol City 2-0. An away win for Crystal Palace 2-1 at Ipswich. And then St James's Park, Newcastle United having beaten Sunderland by 3 goals to 1. What did the second half come to life? The first 45 minutes were all forgettable, but Sunderland showed their intent at the beginning of the second period. This ball was crossed in there by Kitching. Then a penalty which Eleanor Dale shouldered the responsibility for, with Anna Taminen, the Finnish goalkeeper, guessing correctly, dropping to her right and making a very good save to thwart Dale. There was more defensive work for Newcastle United to do as Kitchen's bending effort came back off the top of the crossbar. Bent in awkwardly, and the framework of the goal being struck. Then Jordan Nobbs' corner dropped into the far post area and was bundled in by Deanna Cooper to open the scoring in the Tyne-Wear derby. Maloney in trouble. Cooper pouncing. Emily Murphy made a big impact coming off the bench. She was thwarted there by Grace Maloney. And Murphy really got into the stride of the game very quickly indeed. Thwarted there, but she wasn't going to be thwarted from close to goal when Sunderland couldn't deal with the corner. And Murphy on hand to make it 2-0. And that was her third goal of the campaign. But Sunderland from a corner were able to maximise in a scramble with Kira Barry's header from short range, halving the deficit. Corner delivered by Kitching. Plenty of confusion going on in the goal mouth before the decisive Barry header. The corners caused problems all afternoon. Roberts there was thwarted by Taminen, who took full command of a really crowded 6-yard box there. Emily Murphy checked back onto her right foot for a deflected shot that went in beyond keeper Maloney to round off the scoring and make it a final scoreline of Newcastle United 3, Sunderland 1. So what an afternoon it's been there here at St James's Park. Real action in the second half, a missed penalty. 3 Newcastle United goals, 1 from Sunderland in front of 18,972 people. What an afternoon of football up in the northeast with a final scoreline of Newcastle United 3, Sunderland 1.